Gorilla bought a cinema, not because he loved movies, because someone whispered 3 magic words to him. Cinemas print money. Gorilla did not ask how. Gorilla did not ask why. Gorilla signed the papers so fast the ink was still confused about what had just happened. He pictured velvet seats, golden popcorn, a red carpet unrolled just for him, every single day, like the universe owed him applause. In Gorilla's mind, money was going to fall from the ceiling like slow, dramatic confetti. In reality, one single popcorn kernel fell from the machine and landed on the floor with a tiny, unimpressive tap. Gorilla stared at that kernel like it owed him rent. He did not know yet that this kernel would become a metaphor. He just thought it was annoying. Day 1. Gorilla stood in his brand new lobby, chest puffed out, admiring his very own popcorn machine like it was a newborn son. He named it Kevin. Kevin was going to make him rich. Kevin had other plans. Gorilla imagined thousands of people flooding in every night, buying tickets just to sit in his personal darkness and hand him their savings. Nobody told Gorilla that movie studios take most of the ticket money in week 1. Nobody told him that popcorn exists specifically to save the business the tickets can't. Gorilla found this out through a 4-minute phone call that aged him 5 years and gave Kevin an existential crisis by proxy. "So we only keep this much?" Gorilla asked. "Yes," said the voice on the phone, with the emotional warmth of a parking ticket. Gorilla stared at the wall for a long time after that. The wall did not stare back. The wall had seen this before. The wall had seen everyone before. Week 1. 12 people showed up. Gorilla counted them personally, twice. Then a third time, quietly, hoping the number had grown out of pity. He stood at the door in a tiny usher vest, greeting each guest like a general welcoming troops into a war he did not remember enlisting for. One guest asked if the popcorn came with a free refill. Gorilla, drunk on hospitality and unfamiliar with math, said yes. That single refill erased the entire evening's profit. Gorilla did not know this yet. He would find out later, alone, holding a spreadsheet like it was a betrayal letter from an old friend. The electricity bill arrived. Gorilla opened it standing up. This was his first mistake. He should have opened it sitting down, possibly wearing a helmet. Running a giant dark box with air conditioning, sound systems, and a popcorn machine named Kevin apparently costs about the same as heating a small, ungrateful country. Gorilla beat his chest once. Just once. A short, dramatic thump, like a war drum for an army of exactly one very tired gorilla. It did not help. The bill remained. Bills are immune to chest beating. This has been confirmed by every gorilla who has ever tried. Then came streaming, the villain nobody warned him about, mostly because everyone else had already learned this lesson quietly and moved on with their lives. Gorilla stood outside his own cinema one night, watching an empty parking lot, treating it with the seriousness of a general surveying a battlefield after a catastrophic and humiliating defeat. Inside, meanwhile, one single human sat in Theater 3, eating snacks he'd smuggled in from home, in a backpack specifically designed for smuggling snacks past a gorilla. Gorilla saw the backpack. He said nothing. He simply added it to his growing internal folder titled Betrayals Minor. He tried creative programming, discount Tuesdays, combo deals, birthday party packages he did not want to host, but agreed to anyway because the word package sounded profitable. He watched a 6-year-old's birthday party demolish his lobby in under 11 minutes, with the kind of tactical efficiency the military only dreams about. Gorilla stood in the wreckage, one hand over his eyes, the other still holding a piece of bamboo he'd forgotten to finish 3 hours earlier. Bamboo doesn't taste like anything when your soul is doing math in the background. He tried blockbuster weekends. He rented the big new movie everyone wanted. The distributor took most of that money too. Apparently everyone in this business takes most of the money. Nobody had explained who was left holding the little bit that remained. It was Gorilla. It was always Gorilla. He stared at his calculator so long the numbers started staring back, quietly disappointed in him, like distant relatives at a holiday dinner. He whispered to himself, "So when exactly do I make money?" The calculator did not respond. Calculators never do. They just wait patiently for you to accept the truth, the same way a dentist waits for you to admit you haven't been flossing. Gorilla thought owning a cinema meant control. Turns out, he controlled nothing. Not the release dates, not the streaming competition, Not the raccoon that got into the vents and somehow only ate his snack inventory and nobody else's, like it had read the lease and found a loophole. Gorilla chased the raccoon with a broom one night, alone, in an empty movie theater, screaming into the dark like a man negotiating with fate and losing badly. The raccoon won. The raccoon always wins. The raccoon probably owns a cinema of its own by now, debt-free, thriving, mocking Gorilla from a distance. Slowly, something in Gorilla started shifting. He stopped imagining velvet seat riches. He started noticing something quieter. A grandfather bringing his granddaughter to her very first movie, her tiny hands gripping a popcorn bucket bigger than her own torso. Two teenagers holding hands in the back row, terrified and thrilled at the exact same time, the way only teenagers can be. An old woman who came every single Thursday, alone, just to sit in the dark and feel something that home could not give her. Gorilla realized his cinema wasn't a money machine. It was a memory machine that happened to also sell severely overpriced popcorn. That truth did not pay the electricity bill, but it did something else. It sat quietly in Gorilla's chest, right next to the exhaustion, taking up just enough space to matter. Gorilla stopped waiting for popcorn money to save him. He started treating the cinema like a strange, expensive, beautiful hobby, one that occasionally broke even, and mostly broke his spirit, but gently and in ways he could forgive by morning. He learned the real economics. Tickets barely survive. Popcorn survives everything. Rent never sleeps. Streaming never stops winning quietly in the background, like a competitor who doesn't even need to try. And joy, real joy, doesn't show up on any spreadsheet Gorilla ever built, no matter how many columns he added. One night, closing up alone, Gorilla walked past Kevin the popcorn machine. He patted it gently, like an old friend who had lied to him a little, but meant well, mostly. "You almost ruined me," Gorilla said. Kevin said nothing. Kevin never does. Kevin has never once apologized, and at this point, Gorilla has accepted that he never will. Gorilla turned off the lights, one screen at a time, the way you close chapters you didn't expect to write. He beat his chest, softly this time, not a war drum, not a breakdown, just a release, the kind that doesn't need an audience. Outside, the parking lot was empty again, but somewhere behind him in the dark, the projector was still warm. Gorilla thought about that warmth the entire walk home. The business did not make him rich, but it taught him something quieter, about people, about attention, about himself. Everyone is buying a ticket to feel something for 2 hours. Gorilla just happened to be the one selling the seats and the popcorn. Mostly the popcorn.